Hi, I am Angel Romero, and I have the pleasure to be here among friends. I'm at the Guitar Salon International, and then I have been for so many years visiting, and this time I wanted to, there's a couple of my most beloved and dear instruments that I have played in many of my concerts, and each one of my instruments are like children to me. And this specific one represents a lot of the history that I have with the Hauser family, Hermann Hauser, the great Hausers. And since my childhood, my father had a beautiful 1958 Hermann Hauser, the son of the Hauser I. And he was very, very unbelievably happy with that guitar. He played many concerts with it. My father being, of course, Angel Romero, the great master. And I remember, begging my father to let me play it and stuff, and because it was his precious, possession, and he gave so many concerts with it. And so then, as the years went by, that guitar, I toured with it, and I was in New York. One of my many visits to New York, Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, everywhere, and in this, and I still do have like a friend of mine, and he's like a brother, which is the great Jorge Morel, the Argentine composer and guitarist, great guitarist, and he used to live in Queens. So I would stay there with him. I would sleep in the couch, wherever. And one night after I played in Carnegie Hall, it was snowing, and I packed up my guitar, that being the Hauser 58. And right after the concert, and I drove out to Queens, parked in the street. It was snowing. I took out my luggage. I was very, very tired, and I walked up with the luggage and stuff, and I walked up to the apartment, and elevator up, and then I sat down and had some food, and then I went to bed. Next morning, I went looking for my guitar in the living room, and it wasn't there. I was horrified because it all of a sudden hit me that I had left it outside of the trunk of the car, sitting on a little dry spot, waiting for me to come back and get it, because the streets were deserted. Well, I ran out of the apartment, it was morning, and obviously the guitar was gone. I was devastated. And I didn't know how to tell my dad what had happened. But my father was the most kind and understanding person. He was very high-strung and a genius, but you could break his greatest possession. Like my oldest brother, Celine, slipped one time carrying a beautiful Santos, and it was my father's concert guitar. And he slipped on a wet floor that my mother had just cleaned, and demolished the Santos. It was like for a market bag to put it all in pieces. And my father, instead of saying anything, he picked up Celine from the floor and said, "Are you hurt, sweetheart?" And he said, "But the guitar." He said, "I'll forget the guitar. You can replace that." So that was the way my father was. So when I told him about the guitar, I was no exception. He did the same thing. He said, "Angel, they didn't steal you. It's fine. Hauser, whatever, and obviously he was sad about it. So years went by, and then to my fortune, I was able, through much search, to sort of replace that instrument with another 58, exactly the same, identical, in markings, exactly the markings, everything, but almost with a better sound. And I finally have put this in my collection, and I played many concerts with it.